That's it.
I have it. Welcome back to the verdict. It's almost palpable. You can feel it. Yes, we see those election materials being distributed so that you can go out there and cast your vote. But don't forget, you can also send us a message, hashtag the verdict, hashtag 2019 elections at Channels TV. And then that's the Instagram address there, Channels Television. Don't forget, you could send us any message. We'll be here to listen to you. Let's get back to Abuja. Mr. Lo, you were making a point on security and the deployment. Could you go ahead, please?
Yes, so like I was saying, my point was that, you know, we can't remove the election from the prevailing reality of the country and the current rate of insecurity across the country. And so one can then argue that given the state of insecurity, we might need some extra level of security across the country. But this has to be balanced. This has to be balanced. The deployment of extra military assets across the country can never be done in a way that it makes it difficult for Nigerians to feel safe. It should rather be done in a way that makes Nigerians feel secured. And so stories of harassment of individuals by the military, like we saw on social media, I don't know if that has been verified, but things like that shouldn't actually happen. The law tried to respond to this challenge, and by saying that under the Electoral Act, that the security assets need to be under the operational control of INEC, so that INEC can better inform them where they have needs and where they don't have needs. And that level of civilian oversight, I think it is important in reassuring Nigerians. There's a platform where INEC and the security agencies meet. We need to, you know, be better informed on how that platform works, how decisions are taken, so that Nigerians will understand that any extra level of security movement across the country is not only justifiable, but very necessary. If we leave people to begin to believe that deployment of military assets or security assets across the country is oftentimes premised in places where people need to be intimidated, it becomes a bit problematic. So while I acknowledge that there's need for extra security in the country because of the prevailing level of insecurity, that deployment must be done with utmost care to ensure that the wrong message, the wrong result is not achieved.
But do you have a level of confidence, though, despite your earlier submissions before we went on that short break, concerning the way this is turning out to be, especially when you've heard already from Mr. President, the President, during his speech early this morning, where he said that international and domestic monitors and observers are assured of their safety and freedom of movement needed to perform their important functions. And then went on to say, as we thank domestic monitors and observers of their contributions to our democracy, we'll also thank the international groups of the friendship and concerns they have demonstrated in our nation. Does that give you a level of comfort as an observer?
I will be the first to admit that the remarks by the President this morning was measured and presidential, unlike the other remarks we've heard from him in the countdown to this election. And so I'll be the first to say that this is a welcome development. I like the message, I like the tone. However, it is really difficult to reassure people by one speech that is totally different from what we've been hearing all along. And so, as I commend the President for his speech, I think it's also important for government to also retract some of the statements that have come out. We saw the op-ed by the Chief of Staff of the President, which really went to town in trying to demonize some of the international partners that Nigeria has. You saw, the statement by the governor of Kaduna State, the very worrying statement by the spokesperson of the President's campaign team. So I think as much as the President has taken this measured tone, which is a welcome development, they need also find opportunity to retract some of the things that have been said before, and also encourage people that work for him to also say the same thing. Because we've been confronted in the past where the President says one thing, his team says another thing. So good speech, very reassuring, but we need to see more. We need to see others around him take this same measured tone. We need to see the opposition party also take this measured tone, so that we understand that as a country, we're having a common understanding that election is a process that is supposed to strengthen us as a people and not destabilize us.
Okay, let me take it away from you in Abuja and bring it back to the studio here. He said that he believes that the president should retract the statement. I mean, what difference does it make after he has made his presidential broadcast? Should the president go ahead to retract the statement again?
I don't think retraction will be necessary because he has already said something very different this morning. Tone is very essential to speech delivery, and I think it was very comported, and I think the message was well delivered. And once it is opposite what he had said the previous week and what his aides have been saying, for me, that's retraction. So getting the president to come and sit down, and they would think that that is political. But let the point be made that the process for voting is very simple. Go to your polling booth, cast your ballot, monitor how people are voting, wait until results are declared, and you can begin to send it to whoever you want to send it to.
But still wait for the official one from INEC.
No. What I'm saying is, I mean, let's be honest. If by the time INEC has released his result, you find that the collation center has distorted what happened in several polling stations, then there is need to raise an alarm.
Or it may not even be distortion. It may be that, well, the earlier figures have been overtaken with other figures.
Exactly. Chamberlain, let me be honest with you. When the other day Mr. President said he had asked and demanded from security agencies a level of ruthlessness that had never before been known to be related to elections.
But that interpretation is yours.
No, well, I'm just saying.
Yeah, that was a part of the statement.
When he said that, I thought that he should have also added those who will conjecture figures, who will distort figures, who will... There are several crimes. People who will come to vote with fake ballot PVCs, you know, all of this should have been tied together and treated as one, not just ballot. Ballot box snatching is a dying fashion.